Now, we got a nation in debt. We got provinces in debt. A lot of people out here tonight, you're in debt. Credit card debt, school debt, whatever. And sometimes when you're in debt, you got to deal with the repo man. You know, you buy a whole bunch of stuff, you fill your apartment, and you can't make payments, and the repo man comes. Drive the car off the lot, can't afford it, the repo man comes. Let me tell you about the ultimate repo man. It's the enemy of your soul. And let me tell you how he works. It's very simple. It's not complicated. He's got products. The devil's got products. The perversion of good. That's all it is. The devil hasn't created anything. He hasn't made anything. All he does is he takes what God has made and established, and he perverts it. God gave us the ability to be intimate, a man and a woman, and what do? We corrupt that. We have pornography. We have sex outside of marriage. A stain, a vile corruption. And you know what people do? They try and justify because it feels good. Their sin feels good. They go and try and justify, but you know it's dirty, and you feel dirty for a reason. And now we got children watching porn. We got children abusing one another. Monkey see, monkey do. They're doing exactly what they see. They're abusing one another. It's corruption. And that's one of the devil's products. That's one of them. He's got many. So what you do, you take one of his products, you deal with the repo man, and he'll have authority on your life. And many of you tonight, there's havoc going on in your life. And I'll tell you, one reason could be because the enemy has authority on your life. You've given him authority. You know, interesting, there was a man in the Bible, and Jesus related his life to a house. And he said that there was a house, it was a life, it was a person. He said, filled with unclean spirits.
So remember when I
or there was an unclean spirit, and he managed to get it out. Maybe tonight you managed to try in your own effort to get rid of that drug or that alcohol, that thing that's destroying you. But notice what the Spirit said. Very interesting. When the Spirit was kicked out, and he came back and he saw that the house was empty. You know what he said? Listen. He said, I'm going to come back to my house. He still had authority. And he came back to his house with 7 more unclean spirits. And the Bible says that man's state was worse in the beginning. Now the devil's going to give you one of his products. If you take it, you're never going to own it. It's going to own you. You never own sin. And this is what God said to Cain. He said, sin's knocking on the door, wants to come in and wants to own you, wants to master you, but you can master it. God gives victory. But you know something about sin? You deal with a repo man, you take his products, and you'll never be able to keep up with the payments. How many of you tonight, the hours you're spending on the internet, the time and the money that's going out to something, and you can't keep up with the payments? The repo man is demanding of you. You're thinking, what am I going to do? And there was a woman like that in the Bible. She owed money. And she no doubt she tried to sell everything she could, and the repo man was coming after the most precious thing, her sons. And if you think, man, you think the enemy has taken from you, he hasn't taken the most precious things that you've got. You're still here today, you're still alive. Your soul might be in the balance, but he hasn't taken it from you. And she heard the repo man was coming for her sons. And she had no power. She had nothing else she could sell. She had nothing else she could do. What do you do when you're in jail? I know what some of you do. Thank God you get the Word of God and God speaks to you, because, man, what are you going to do? And she went to the man of God, and the man of God gave her a promise. And I'll tell you something about, there's man's promises and there's God's promises. And let me tell you one thing about the promise of God. Always greater than whatever you're facing. Always offering a way out. There's a way out in God's promises. For whatever has done you in, for whatever you've done, that is the reality of God's grace. I've experienced it. You hear the story about these escape rooms, and there was one in Poland, and they're trying to figure out the way out. It's a game. It's a mystery. The escape is a puzzle for some of you. The way out is a puzzle. You're trying to figure it out. And they didn't get out. There was a fire, and they were locked in that room, and they died. How many people have died trying to escape? They've tried to figure a way out. And there is a way. As a matter of fact, Jesus says He is the way. And He embodies all the promises of God. The Bible says in Him, all the promises of God are fulfilled and they're made real. And God is trying to speak to you promises that are greater than anything that you're dealing with now. But they have to be taken to heart. And the promise of God to this woman was very simple. Empty all the vessels in your house, all the vessels you can find, and God will fill. And man, if I've ever seen a generation more empty, it's us. Empty. All the technology, all the gadgets, all the stuff, all the things we can do, and yet there's a barrenness, a cavern barrenness in the lives of people. I think it was Bruce Springsteen that admitted that. He says, young man, I was like an empty vessel. He got into music, but then he couldn't fight the Repo man off. Depression. Trying to fill your life with something. But it's not enough to keep the Repo man away. But here is a promise from the Word of God. And I imagine her sons got involved. I mean, this was a promise of hope. They probably went around to every neighbor and they got all these empty pots and jars. And if you would do that tonight, you see, that's why Christ came. You see, the Bible says that when He came, He emptied Himself. And everything that came out of Christ when He died on the cross, it's everything that you need in you. His blood to wash away your sin, His Spirit in you, which brings life and power. And she lifted up those empty vessels, and God supernaturally filled them with oil, every single one. You know what that meant? She had enough money to keep the Repo man away. But not only that, listen to this, the greatest thing when God does a work of grace could happen tonight. It's powerful. It's life-changing. She was able to live off the rest. Man, when God does a work of grace in your life, man, you can live off of it. Man, I'm living off of what God did in my life. You find yourself poor again, you got to go back. You got to go back. He's the one. Somebody said this week, I was listening, Christians don't make Christians. God makes Christians. Because what He does is He fills our life. He fills our empty life with Himself. And she not only dealt with the Repo man, she lived off the rest. Now you might be out here tonight, you say, man, I haven't got any Repo man. Man, my bills are paid. Man, I'm not a drug addict. I'm not selling my body. And everything's good with me. What did God say to that man that had so much stuff? He said, I got to build a bigger place to put all my stuff. Right? Is that your problem? You got so much stuff, you need a bigger place for more of your stuff? Is that your problem? That seems to be the North American problem. I got so much stuff, I need a bigger place. And he wasn't concerned about the Repo man. His bills are all paid, nothing going. And God said to him, you fool! This night, your soul. You see, that's what He's after ultimately. Man, He's not just after your marriage. He's not just after your health. He's not just after your job. Your soul will be required of you. You didn't realize He was coming for that. You saw pretty, man, in the abundance of your wealth. That was in your cup, but man, that won't keep the Repo man away. He's coming. But receive from Christ His fill. Like the song says, fill my cup, Lord, I lift it up. He'll fill. Sometimes you'll never come to the ocean of God's grace until you come to the very end of yourself, like a beach. And you stand there and you say, can I do it? Can I leave the shore? Hey, God's splashing some water on you tonight. He's showing you who He is. He's saying, yeah, come in. Just trust me. You can't go back. There's nothing else there. You got all kinds of enemies behind you. They move you to this place. You're at the end of your rope. Yeah, you can go into that water. You can be surrounded by the love of God. You can be supported. He'll take you to the very